ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah Azza wa Jalla for sparing our life up to today. Today being the 14th day of the month of Ramadan, 1445 years after the hijrah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Makkah to Medina, which correspond to the 24th of March, year 2024. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla, may He grant us success in this our Ramadan Tafseer. Today, we have read up to verse 22. Is it 22? Verse 21 yesterday, where we said, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجو الله واليوم الآخر وذكر الله كثيرا.
Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned in this verse 21 of Suratul Ahzab, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. There is a good example in the life of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for the one who hopes in Allah and the last day, and he remembers Allah Azza wa Jalla very much. And we talked about yesterday at the end of the tafsir how we can remember Allah Azza wa Jalla, unlike what the ignorant Muslims thought to be zikr. And we said that zikr of Allah Azza wa Jalla, it gives peace of mind, it gives security. Allah bi zikrillahi tatma'innal qulub. As for the zikr of Allah, it grants tranquility. It makes the heart to be calm, not the one that makes you to behave like a madman in the streets. Now we move to the next verse, which is verse 22. وَلَمَّا رَأَى
الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الْأَحْزَابَ قَالُوا هذا ما وعدنا الله ورسوله وصدق الله ورسوله وما زادهم إلا إيمانا وتسليما.
بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said in verse 22 of this surah, Suratul Ahzab, وَلَمَّا رَأَى الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الْأَحْزَابَ قَالُوا هَذَا مَا وَعَدَنَا اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ وَصَدَقَ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ وَمَا زَادَهُمْ إِلَّا إِيمَانًا وَتَسْلِيمًا. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَلَمَّا رَأَى الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. When the believers saw, what did they saw? Al-Ahzab. When they saw the people of Ahzab, bima'ana the confederate, those people who came to attack Medina, when the believer saw them, the believers, when they saw them, وَلَمَّا رَأَى الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الْأَحْزَابَ قَالُوا, they said, هَذَا مَا وَعَدَنَا اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. They said that this is exactly what Allah and His Messenger promised us. هَذَا مَا وَعَدَنَا اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. This is exactly what Allah and His Messenger promised us. وَصَدَقَ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. And Allah and His Messenger, they are truthful, they are correct. وَمَا زَادَهُمْ إِلَّا إِيمَانًا وَتَسْلِيمًا. and this does not increases them. The events that happened, the attack on Medina did not increases them except in Iman, except in faith, and also submission. After Allah Azza wa Jalla has already mentioned the condition of the munafiqun and those who have diseases in their heart, alladhina najama nifaqihim, those are the people whose nifaq appears lamma hasala lakum hadha al-ibtila, when this test, when this calamity befalls on the Muslim, by the fact that the Quraysh and their allies, they attacked Medina, then the nifaq of the munafiqun now appeared. And the munafiqun, they begin to say, Ma wa'adana Allahu wa rasuluhu illa ghurura, that Allah and His messengers promise deception, delusion. Zakar al-hal al-mu'minina, then Allah Azza wa Jalla now mentioned the situation of the believers. Alladhina istadallu bidhalika ala sidikin wa'dillahi wa rasuli. Those are the people who uses the same thing that the munafiqun uses to belie Allah Azza wa Jalla. They uses the same thing to confirm the promise of Allah and His messenger. The munafiqun, when they saw the enemies attacking Medina, they lose hope in Allah. And they said that what Allah and His messenger promised was just delusion. It was not real. It was a fake promise. But when the believers saw it, the same thing that the munafiqun see, then the believers said that exactly this is what Allah and His messenger promised. Can you see that? Both of them saw the same thing, but they got different results. Why? Because the first one was having nifaq. He was having nifaq in him. He is a hypocrite. Then the second person was having iman. His heart was filled with iman. His heart was not sick. بِأَنَّ النَّصْرُ مَعَ الصَّبْرِ. The believers, they now see that Nasr, victory can only be achieved with difficulties. Victory can only be achieved with a sabr, that is what? The patience. وَأَنَّ الْفَرْجِ مَعَ الْقَرْبِ. And relief can only come after difficulties. وَأَنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا. And that usr, that is hardship, will come together with what? Easiness. وَأَنَّ الْعَاقِبَةَ لِلْتَقْوَى. And they understood that the ending result is only for those people who are righteous, those who fear Allah Azza wa Jal. So for that reason, فَازْدَادَ إِيمَانُهُمْ. Their iman now increases. Let me give you an example. Many of us do watch all these war films, right? Even if you did not respond, I know you used to watch it. If you notice anything, in the beginning, in the middle, you will see that the evil people will be the one on top. Abi? We used to call them boss. This thing is not facing us. We used to call them boss. You will see boss will be very strong. In fact, sometimes it will be as if he wants to even kill actor. I don't know who actually separated them into boss and actor. But at the end of the day, who used to laugh last? Actor. Even in Nigerian films, you will see Patience Ogoku doing all what she used to do. You know what she used to do now? She will go to Amade Oha, go and collect juju, and so that the wife of her own son will not be able to sit down in one place. She will be doing all her witches. At the end of the day, they will now what? Who will now win? The good people. That is natural. That is the nature even in this dunya. Wal akibatu lil muttaqin. So that is why our mind is at rest, even though we are pained as regards what we are seeing in Palestine today, as regards what is befalling the Muslims today. Our mind is at rest that the akiba is for the muttaqin. As we are still moving like this, the akiba will be for the believers. It will be for the righteous. Irrespective of whatever you are seeing happening today. It's just like the film you watch. We are the actor and they are the boss. They are forming muscle, and at the end of the day, we will still be the one to defeat them. It's as simple as that. Wal akibatu lil muttaqin. The akiba is for those people who are righteous. So if we are righteous, we should be patient. The akiba will definitely come. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَلَمَّا رَأَى الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الْأَحْزَابِ. When the believers saw the Ahzab, the Confederate, أي لما رأى المؤمنون المصدقون بوعد الله الأحزاب قد تهذبوا عليهم وحارسوهم. When the believers, those who are truthful to the promise of Allah Azza wa Jal, they confirm the promise of Allah Azza wa Jal. When they saw the Ahzab, those people who have gathered against Medina and they besieged Medina, qalu, they now say, biyakinin wa thibatin. They say with certainty. They say with certainty and firmness, وَالتَّصْدِيقُ لِوَعْدِ اللَّهِ. And they affirm the promise of Allah and His Messenger, بِمَا سَيَحْصِلُ لَهُم مِّنَ الْإِبْتِلَاءِ وَالتَّمْهِيزِ. They confirm the promise of Allah Azza wa Jalla regarding what will be the ending result of all of these siege that they laid against Medina. And they know that ثُمَّ تَكُونُ لَهُمُ الْعَاقِبَةُ وَالنَّصْرُ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. They knew that after this, by the permission of Allah, is going to be what? Is going to be victory. What did they now say? هَذَا مَا وَعَدَنَا اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. This is exactly what Allah and His Messenger has promised. أي هذا الذي وعدنا الله ورسوله من الابتلاء والامتحان. This is exactly what Allah and His Messenger has promised, that He is going to test us, He is going to examine us, He is going to afflict us. Why? Allah Azza wa Jalla, He answered this in another verse in Suratul Baqarah, verse 214. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, Am hasibitum
أم حسبتم أن تدخلوا الجنة ولما يأتكم مثل الذين خلوا من قبلكم مستهم البأساء والضراء وزلزلوا حتى يقول الرسول والذين آمنوا معه متى نصر الله
ألا إن نصر الله قريب. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said that Am hasibitum, or are they thinking and tadhulu al Jannah, that they are going to be admitted into Jannah. Walamma yatikum masalul ladhina khalaw min qablikum. Do they think that they will be admitted into Jannah without Allah Azza wa Jalla afflicting them, giving to them that which has been given to those that come before them? What goes to them? Masathumul ba'sa wad-darra wazulzilu. Allah Azza wa Jalla, those people who came before us, Allah tested them with fear. Allah tested them with hunger. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He tested them with harm, affliction. They were shaking. Hatta yaqul ar-rasul, until the messenger, walladhina amanu ma'ahu, and those who believe with him, they begin to say, Mata nasrullah, when is the victory of Allah? Just as we are also saying, when is the victory of Allah coming for the Muslims? Allah inna nasrallahi qareeb. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, the victory of Allah is very, very close. If you do your own part, the victory of Allah will come. Be an ideal Muslim. Let's have an ideal Islamic society. The victory of Allah will come. But when we are still having Muslims who are in the masjid and some Muslims who are in the disco parties, then you are only joking if you are expecting any victory. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He also mentioned, Am hasibitum an tadu. Surah Al-Imran, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, do you actually think that you will enter Jannah? وَلَمَّا يَعْلَمِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا مِنْكُمْ. And Allah Azza wa Jalla will not be able to know those people who are what? Who are striving from amongst you. وَيَعْلَمَ الصَّابِرِينَ. And those who are patient. So Allah Azza wa Jalla, He wishes to test people so that those who are having diseases in their heart, their identity, their reality can become obvious. وَصَدَقَ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. And Allah and His Messenger, they are truthful. فَقَدْ رَأَيْنَا مَا أَخْبَرَنَا اللَّهُ بِهِ وَرَسُولُهُ حَقًّا وَصِدْقًا. They said that we have seen that what Allah and His Messenger has informed us with is the reality and it is true, it is correct. وَمَا زَادُهُمْ إِلَّا إِيمَانًا وَتَسْلِيمًا. And this did not increase them except in Iman, except in strong faith. They became strong in faith. Instead of them to become down, to become defeated, no, rather they become strong in faith. وَتَسْلِيمًا. And they become submissive. أي إلا إيمانا وتصديقا بقلوبهم. Except that they have increase in Iman and they confirm with their own heart وَتَسْلِيمًا. And they submitted with their body. They submitted to the rule of Allah Azza wa Jal by fulfilling the obligations of Allah and by implementing and applying those commands of Allah Azza wa Jalla and obeying His messenger. From the benefits of these verses that we have learned is that if you look at it, we said here, Sadaqallahu wa Sadaqallahu wa Rasuluhu. Many a times we see that people, whenever they finish reciting the Quran, they have made it obligatory upon themselves to always say, Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Is that not so? It's a very good statement. After all, Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned it here, وَصَدَقَ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. But the problem lies when somebody now believes that at every point in time he reads the Quran, he must end it up with what? Sadaqallahu al-Azim. To such an extent that if somebody reads the Quran and the person did not say Sadaqallahu al-Azim, some people will even tell him, say Sadaqallahu al-Azim. As if it is actually Sunnah. It is not. If it is done occasionally, no problem. Perhaps you are actually reading a particular surah and you say, wow, Allah Azza wa Jalla was truthful. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. No problem. As the companions also said this, wa sadaqallahu wa rasuluhu. But at every point in time you read the Quran and you are always saying Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Sadaqallahu maulana al-Azim. Some people think that it is part of the Quran. No. The Prophet ﷺ did not teach this. The companions, they did not teach this. Although it's a good statement, but it is not in line with the Sharia. Saying it occasionally, no problem. But when you think that at every point in time you read the Quran, you now end it up with what? Sadaqallahu maulana al-Azim. Some people even add more matters. They will do wasabi and add more. All those ones, it is the people of Bidah that are adding. So let's try to follow the Sunnah. Even though it's a good statement, follow the Sunnah. Somebody will say, This Izala people, they don't get sense. Sadaqallah lazim na bidia again. Yes, we say it is bidia. This is Sadaqallah lazim. There's nothing wrong. It's a good statement. Yes, it's a good statement. Did we say it's a bad statement? Did we say it's a bad statement? No, it's a good statement, but we said don't do it. If you say, why? Just now we are in Ijapisa, in a village called Ijapisa. And I told them that if, for example, you are in Ruku, what are you supposed to say in Ruku? Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. Is that not so? If somebody were to go to Ruku and you now begin to say, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, is it correct? No. Why? The Prophet Islam said, Afdalul Kalam, La ilaha illallah. The best statement is La ilaha illallah. So why do you tell me it's not correct? Because it's not the right place to say it. I hope we understand. So the people of Bidia should go and sit down. Number 2, أن المؤمن يزداد إيمانا عند رؤية الآيات الكونية أو شرعية. A believer's iman will increase at any point in time that he sees a universal sign or he sees a Sharia sign. Your iman will increase. Look at it. When they saw the people of Ahzab, what happened? وَمَا زَادَهُمْ إِلَّا إِيمَانًا وَتَسْلِيمًا.
الذين قال لهم الناس إن الناس قد جمعوا لكم فاخشوهم فزادتهم إيمانا وقالوا
حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. Those are the people whom when they told them, Inna nas qad jama'u lakum, the people have come together to dismiss you, to destroy you. What happened to them? Fazadahum iman. Their iman increased. They said, as we are sitting down here now, they come. Your iman now get increased. Not for you to begin to ask, come out for me, make I pass. Come out for me, make I pass. Where are you going? We stay here together. You understand? Their iman increased. وَقَالُوا حَسْبُنَا اللَّهُ وَنِعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ. And what they begin to say, حَسْبُنَا اللَّهُ وَنِعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ. You will not know who will say this until when it happens. You understand? When it happens, some people will say, Adamu, Adamu. That is what they will be saying instead of حَسْبُنَا اللَّهُ وَنِعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ. Now, another benefit we can take from this verse is the fact that this verse has come to confirm the position of the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah in the fact that the Ahlul Sunnah believe that innal imana yazidu wa yankus. Iman increases and decreases. That's why sometimes we say, brother, your iman don't increase. Oh. Many people's iman increase in this Ramadan. Hey, you see some people's tezbah in this Ramadan. People that are selling tezbah, they really make money this Ramadan. Yes. In this Ramadan, many people left their evil and they increased their iman. They don't want to drink alcohol again. They don't want to fornicate again. Even lie, they don't want to lie. You understand? So iman increases and it also decreases as well. Now, how can iman be expressed? How can increase of iman be expressed? How can we say the person's iman is already increasing? Number one, the ittibaru quwwatul yaqin. When the person has strong conviction of something, then we say that his iman has increased. Wa bi ittibaru kasratul amal. When somebody is doing plenty of ibadat, we say this person's iman has increased. Wa bi ittibaru ikhlasu fi. And when somebody has ikhlas in what he is doing, in the ibadah that he is doing, he has sincerity. We say his iman has increased. When somebody is trying to follow his messenger, anything that the messenger said, he wants to be following it the way it is. We say this person's iman has increased. And we can also say this person has iman depending on who he is. Number one of what we have just mentioned, the ittibar quwwatul yaqin. That when somebody has strong conviction, for example, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam is a prophet. One day he said to Allah, Rabbi arini kayfa tuhiyil mauta. He said, oh Allah, show me, how do you use to give life to the dead? Prophet Ibrahim said, how do you use to give life to the dead? Didn't Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam believe that Allah Azza wa Jalla give life to the dead? He did, of course, he understood. And he believed that. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla told him, Qala awalam tu'min. Didn't you believe that I give life to the dead? Prophet Ibrahim said, Qala bala. Of course, I believe. Walakin liyatma'inna qalbi. Walakin liyatma'inna qalbi. Yeah, of course I believe. I only wanted my mind to be what? To be cool. To be calm. So, فَلَيْسَ الْخَبَرُ كَالْمُعَيَّنِ. However, information is not like sin. Sometimes I tell you something and you believe me. Of course, you believe me, you do not actually doubt me. But when you see it yourself, you have increase in belief. You have increase in belief. For example, if I am teaching you, or if I tell you that Allah said, although you don't know how to read Quran, but I tell you that Allah said, but the fact that you trust me, you now believe that, of course, Allah said that. Is that also? Now, what now happens when you now go and learn Quran, and you can now read Quran by yourself, and you are now reading it, you now say, this is what Mala Isa used to teach us. Look at it, it is written in the Quran, I can see it myself now. What will now happen? It will add increase in your belief. Is that also? So that is what we mean by what? Ittibaru quwwatul yaqin. It will now have increase because you have seen it. You have seen it. Now the second one is ittibaru kasratul amal. When you do plenty work. The more you work, the more your iman. It shows that your iman is increasing. But the fact that you are doing plenty work, if you are not reading Quran, you are doing nafila, you are fasting, you are doing plenty ibadat, it shows that your iman is what? Is high. But when your iman is low, you become lazy in ibadat. Is that not so? Number 3, bihazbil ikhlas fil ibadah. If you are having ikhlas, sincerity in your ibadah, then we can say that this person's iman is getting increasing, is getting perfect, getting to perfection. It's very, very strong. So, but when you do something out of negligence and you are not having sincerity in it, you will notice that that ibadah will be very empty. Although you have prayed 12 rakah, but you do not even have connection with Allah in that 12 rakah. All you have been thinking in that 12 rakah is the material you need to deliver in my tama. All you have been thinking is plus and minus. You know, they said there was somebody who was in Salah. As he was praying, he was calculating plus and minus. At the end of the day, instead of him to say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, he now said 1,500. After he calculated everything, the balance sheet, the reconciliation statement, the debit and the credit side, he ended up with 1,500. That kind of salat, you have to repeat. You have to repeat that kind of prayer. So if somebody were to perform any act of ibadah and he's not sincere, perhaps he's doing it so that he can be seen, or he's doing it so that people can hear that, in fact, look at that man, look at the way. For example, you are praying, you intended to use Kul Allahu Ahad before. As soon as you hear Imam Buhari enter, you now want to impress Imam Buhari. You know, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. You want to check whether he's watching you. Then if Imam Buhari leave again, you quickly take your inatena and continue. So this kind of prayer, although you are working, but because it is lacking of ikhlas, then it is lacking in iman. I hope we are getting that. So if you can absorb yourself from all this riyah, sum'ah, you want people to see you, you want people to hear you, all of that, then your iman will be increasing. Number 4, bi itibar mutabi'atur rasul. It can also be expressed if you are following the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam in your ibadah. At every point in time you want to do as the Messenger does in your ibadah, it shows that your iman is there. Because if you want to follow the Messenger, you will be having the feeling as if the Prophet sallallahu is in front of you and you are actually following him step by step. So وَهَذَا لَا شَكَ أَنَّهُ يَزِيدُ فِي الْإِيمَانِ. There is no doubt that this is going to increase your iman. Lastly, on this particular verse is بِإِتِّبَارِ حَالُ الْآمِنِ. Also depending on the one who is doing the action. Because as we are like this, we are not the same. Some people's iman is at the peak, while some are on the moderate. Some people are crawling with their iman, depending on who they are. For example, the ulama, their iman is at the top. Al-ulama warasatul anbiya innama yakhsha Allah min ibadihi al-ulama. The ulama, they are the one who fears Allah the most. They fear Allah the most because they know about Allah Azza wa Jal. The companions who are the salaf, their iman is at the peak. That is why the Messenger of Allah said, "Law anfaqa ahadukum mislu uhudin zahaban ma balagha mudda ahadihim wala nasifahu." When the Prophet was saying that, "La tasubbu ashabi," do not insult my companion, because if any of you were to spend the likes of Uhud of gold or gold of Uhud, it will not reach the muddu that my companion used in giving out what? Sadaqah. Even half of it. The iman of the companion, they are very, very high, because depending on who they are. Now, if the iman of the companion is at this level, now talk about the iman of the prophets. Is even higher. Now, so the most important thing for us to know is that what the Ahlul Sunnah, they said, "Inna li-imana yazidu wa yankus." Iman increases and decreases. Now, after Allah Azza wa Jalla has told us about these people, Allah Azza wa Jalla is going to talk to us regarding the believers. Now,
مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ رِجَالٌ صَدَقُوا مَا عَاهَدُوا اللَّهَ عَلَيْهِ وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ قَضَى نَحْبَهُ وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَنْتَظِرُ
وَمَا بَدَّلُوا تَبْدِيلًا. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said regarding the believers, مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ رِجَالٌ صَدَقُوا مَا عَاهَدُوا اللَّهَ عَلَيْهِ. He said from the believers, there are men. May Allah make us such men. Amen. There are men, rijal, they are men. صَدَقُوا مَا عَاهَدُوا اللَّهَ عَلَيْهِ. They confirm, they affirm that which they agreed between them and Allah. The promise they had with Allah, the covenant they had with Allah Azza wa Jalla, they affirm it. They were truthful to their covenant. فَمِنُهُمْ مَنْ قَضَى نَحْبَهُ. He says some of them, they fulfilled their covenant. وَمِنُهُمْ مَنْ يَنْتَظِرُ. While some others are still waiting to fulfill their covenant. وَمَا بَدَّلُوا تَبْدِيلًا. And they never at any time changed their stance. In fact, their resolve is one. There was no time they begin to have different intention. After Allah Azza wa Jalla has already criticized and blamed the munafiqun and those who are having diseases in their heart regarding the way they ran away from the battlefield, regarding the way they flee from the Ghazwa, and the fact that they broke their promise that they had with Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah Azza wa Jalla in this verse, imtadaha al-mu'minun. He is praising the believers. Wa asna alayhi. Allah Azza wa Jalla is showering praise on them. Why? Bitazdiqihim ma ahadullah alayhi. Because of the fact that they were truthful to the promise they had with Allah. Wa thibatihim ala al-ahad. They were firm and established upon their agreement with Allah, وَوَفَائِهِمْ بِهِ, and the fact that they fulfilled their vow with Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jalla divided these men. This man, he said, Minal mu'minina rijalun sadaku ma ahadullah alayh. He now divided them. One of them, minuhum man qada nahbahu. The second of them, wa minuhum man yantazir wa ma badalu tabdila. So one of them are those people who had already fulfilled their pledge with Allah Azza wa Jalla. What was their pledge? They have already agreed with Allah. They have already sold their soul to Allah Azza wa Jal. That as far as my life is concerned, Allah, you are the owner of my life. Fi sabilillah. For example, Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib. He was killed in the battle of Uhud. Fi sabilillah. He was killed as a shaheed. And so many of the companions that were also killed in the battle of Uhud. So they are the people who had already fulfilled their covenant with Allah. Because they already promised Allah that as far as this soul is concerned, oh Allah, do with me whatever you want. Do with me whatever you want. Then there are another group who are still waiting. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَنْتَظِرُ الْقِتَالِ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Some are still waiting for another battle to happen so that they can what? They can jump into the battle so that their life can be taken for the sake of Allah. They are waiting for shahada. They are waiting for matadam. Why? لِأَنَّهُ قَدْ صَدَقَ الرَّسُولِ. That is because they already affirmed the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. صَدَقُوا مَا أَحَدُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. They already affirmed that which they have already agreed upon with Allah. فَهُمْ يَنْتَظِرُونَ أَوْ أَنْ يَسْتَشْهِدُوا. They are waiting to be what? To be martyred. وَلَكِنْ هَلْ يَصِلُ لَهُمْ ذَلِكَ أَمْ لَا. Were they able to achieve it or not? Did these men, were they able to achieve it? Some of them achieved it, some of them did not achieve it. Some of them later achieved it and they gained martyrdom. They were killed in the path of Allah. They were martyred as a shaheed. Some could not achieve it. No matter how he fought in the battle, Allah did not take his life in the battlefield. For example, Khalid bin Walid. Khalid bin Walid was feeling sorry for his situation when he became sick. In his deathbed, when he became sick, and he did not die as a shaheed. Fi sabilillah. Yandam, he was regretting that there was never a battle that comes except that Khalid bin Walid will be part of it. They said Khalid bin Walid, he participated in 70 battles, and he won all of them. And there is no part of his body except that there is injury in all the parts of his body. But Allah did not take his life. Allah did not take his life. There is no battle except that Khalid bin Walid will be at the forefront. He doesn't used to stay at the back. He will jump where it is. The battle is very intense. That is where he will be. But Khalid bin Walid says, when he was dying, he said, Waha ana amutu ala firashi kama yamutul hima ala ayunul jubana. He said, look at me. Me, Khalid bin Walid, look at me. I am now dying here. Dying on the bed like the way donkeys die. So all of you who want to die, you know, some people, when you ask them, which kind of death do you want? He said, I want to go and sleep. When I sleep, I should not wake up. That is the death I want. You are dying like a donkey. Khalid bin Walid said, look at me here. I am dying like a donkey. The best death is somebody sees you because he hates you for the sake of Allah. He just face you like this. Pa, 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 you die. That is the best death. And that death is not painful. It's just like a mosquito bite. But everybody doesn't want that death. You want the one that you'll be on the bed like this. Malakul Maut will be removing your soul. You just be All your leg, you want to remove your leg as you are stretching it. Everybody will be holding you. You cannot stop. The agony of death is real. If you have ever been in a place where somebody is dying, you will pity. You will not want to die that kind of death. But as for the one whom somebody just hit you, pak, 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 for the sake of Allah, it is just, the pain will be like a mosquito. And that is why when you see those kind of people, they will die smiling. They will die smiling. May Allah Azza wa Jalla give us that kind of death. Not the one that will die like a donkey. That is why Khalid bin Walid said that the eyes of the cowards may it never know sleep. Look at it. If going to the battlefield will make somebody to die quick. Why is Khalid bin Walid? Why did he not die in the battlefield? So do not think that whenever they said, let's go and defend Islam. Yes, jihad is part of Islam. Oh. It is part of it. Kutiba alaykumul qital wa huwa kurhul lakum wa asa an takrahu shay'an wa huwa khairul lakum wa asa an tuhibbu shay'an wa huwa sharrul lakum wallahu wa antum la ta'lamun. Jihad is part of Islam. Yes, now why won't jihad be part of Islam? The people who are the kuffar, they are also fighting fi sabili taghut. Yes, they are fighting fi sabili and they are ready to maim and kill. So we who are also fighting in the path of Allah, we should also be ready to finish them as well. Yes. Is there any country that you see that doesn't have soldiers? What are those soldiers doing? They are killing. Who are they killing? The criminals. Is that not so? So that we can have peace of mind. So it is something of what that is praiseworthy, that you are a soldier of Allah and you are cleaning the bad people in the society so that the society can be good. But unfortunately, people do not understand this. Now this particular verse, what is the sababun nuzul of this particular verse? It is said that this verse was revealed regarding Anas bin Nadr. Anas bin Malik reported a hadith. He said that my uncle Anas bin Nadr was absent in the battle of Badr. And he now told the Prophet Islam, he said, Ya Rasulallah, O Messenger of Allah, give to an awwal qital. Qatalta al-mushrikeen. He said, I was absent in the first battle of the Muslim, the first Islamic battle, Battle of Badr. I was absent in that battle. La inna Allahu ashhadani qital al-mushrikeen la yuriyanna Allahu ma'asna. He said, Wallah, if Allah Azza wa Jalla were to make me to witness another fight against the mushrikun, against the infidels, you will see, Allah Azza wa Jalla will see what I will display on that day. He is making promise to Allah that if Allah should make me to witness any jihad between the Muslim and the kuffar, you will see, oh Allah's messenger, you will see what I will do on that day. They are not people who are making out. Oh. You know, there are some people that are making out. When it happened, they will say that their wife is in the hospital. They said, you will see what I will do that day. Then it was now the Battle of Uhud. Battle of Uhud now set in. When Kashif al-Muslimun, the Muslimun on that day, they were exposed. Remember I told you what happened on the battlefield in the Battle of Uhud. The Muslimun were attacked from the rear. The Prophet Islam said some people should stay. After they see that the Muslims were winning, they begin to come down. Abu Sufyan now went and walked across the Muslims. The Muslims were exposed on that day. When the Muslims, some people begin to retreat and they were running away from the battlefield, Anas bin Nadr, he now said, Allahumma inni a'tadhiru ilayka mimma sana ha'ula, yani ashaba, wa ubarriu ilayka mimma sana ha'ula, yani al-mushrikun, summa taqaddam, fastaqbalahu Sa'd bin Mu'az. Anas bin Nadr, he now began to push forward. While others were retreating, Anas bin Nadr was moving forward. And he saw Sa'd bin Mu'az. He saw Sa'd bin Mu'az. فقال Ya Sa'd bin Mu'az, Ya Sa'd bin Mu'az, Al-Jannah. He said, Sa'd bin Mu'az, where are you going? See Al-Jannah in the front. See Al-Jannah in the front. وَرَبِّ النَّدْرِ, I swear by the Lord of Nadr. إِنِّي لَأَجِدُ رُوحُهَا مِن دُونِ أُحُدٍ. He said, I am perceiving the fragrance of Jannah from the back of Uhud, from behind the mountain of Uhud. Qala Sa'd bin Mu'adh said, he's telling the Prophet ﷺ, he said, فَمَسْتَطَعْتُ يَا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ مَا صَنَعَ. He said, if you see what Anas bin Nadir did that day, I don't think I have power to do that. He said, I do not think that I have power to do that. Anas bin Malik said, فَوَجَدْنَا بِهِ بِدْءًا وَثَمَانِينَ دَرْبَةً بِسَيْفٍ. On that day, he was fighting, only him. He entered the mushrikun and he was fighting fearlessly, courageously. At the end of the day, they fell him. They fell him down and he died. And when they checked, after the battle, when they checked the body of Anas bin Nadir, radiallahu anhu, may Allah be pleased with him. When they checked his body, they found how many injuries on his body? 80-something injuries. As they counted the injuries that was in his body, 80-something cuts on his body. Al-Ta'ana bi-Rami, it is either some were stroking him with arrow, some will use his spear and stabbed him, some were using their sword to tear him apart, because of the way he was also tearing them as well. And they found that he was killed in a way that they designed his body. They mutilated his body. You know the meaning of mutilation? They slash your body in a way that is not recognizable again. That is the way they killed him. No one could even recognize that this is Anas bin Nadir, except his what? Except his auntie. His auntie. He was the one that was able to know through what? Through the finger. Meaning the face was designed in such a way that nobody could recognize again that this is Anas bin Nadir. May Allah be pleased with him. Anas bin Malik said, we used to think that this particular verse was revealed regarding him, or it was revealed regarding people like him. Because they promised Allah and they did not what? They did not retreat. When they had the opportunity to display before Allah Azza wa Jalla, they displayed. We need to make promise with Allah Azza wa Jalla. This is Ramadan, right? Promise Allah Azza wa Jalla and be truthful to your promise. Pick one particular thing that you are always weak. You always caught yourself doing. Even after you have seek repentance, you will still go back to it. Make promise with Allah in this Ramadan that, oh Allah, I promise you, music, cancel in my life. Oh Allah, I promise you, shirk, cancel in my life. Oh Allah, I promise you, backbiting people, cancel. Pick that particular thing that you know this is your weakness. Oh Allah, I have promised you that as far as disobedience to my husband, I will never do it again. I will never speak against my husband. Promise Allah. Can any of the sisters do this? Brothers are saying, that means they cannot do it. Our sisters will do it, inshallah. So promise Allah Azza wa Jalla that never in life, till I meet you, will my husband talk and I will speak back against him. Promise Allah that you will start being a good husband. That you will not be an irresponsible husband. That you will go outside and eat and you leave your family hungry. Promise Allah that which you know is your weakness. Promise Allah Azza wa Jalla. Promise Allah that you are going to, this Quran, you are going to learn it. Inshallah, this 2024. You know, they say year 2024 is my year. Year 2024 is my year of reading the Quran. Promise Allah. Oh Allah, I promise you, before the end of this December, I will know each word in this Quran. There is no word except I know it. Give promise to Allah Azza wa Jalla. We are not just here to tell stories. Just the same way Anas bin Nadir has done, you should also do the same. So they are the what? They are the believers. They are great men Sadaku ma ahadullah alayh. They have actually what? They actually affirm that which they have agreed with Allah Azza wa Jal. What foul? They what? They fulfill the promise they had with Allah, and they stood by it. They completed it. They perfected it with patience. With patience and firmness. It's not going to be easy. What we are saying that you should promise just now is not going to be easy. Sometimes the day you promise that you are not going to be talking to your husband anyhow, that is the day you just do rubbish. You just do one rubbish like that. You see, I have just promised Allah yesterday that I will not be talking to you anyhow, but look at what you did again now. You just go back on your word again. It's not going to be easy, what I'm telling you, but you have to what? You have to persevere and endure. You have to endure. Say, I want to be a nice husband. I don't want to be a husband that beats my wife. The day you promise Allah that you will not beat your wife, Allah will test you whether you are truthful. Your wife will just do one thing that you hate. He will even tell you that if you get mine, hit me. In fact, if you do not hit me, you are not a man. You understand? He will be testing you. Allah Azza wa Jalla is testing you whether you are going to change. So they sacrifice their soul to please Allah Azza wa Jalla, and they rush to the forgiveness of Allah Azza wa Jalla, to obey Allah by doing a lot of good work and running away from the sins. وَمَا بَدَّلُوا تَبْدِيلًا. Allah Azza wa Jalla said they never change. They never change at all. Unlike the munafiqun who change. Munafiqun can change. Even if they promise Allah, they will change whenever they see another opportunity. They will change. So وَمَا غَيَّرُوا مَا أَحَدُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. They never change upon the promise that they promised Allah Azza wa Jal. They never break their promise, but rather they fulfill it and they stood by it. They stood by it till they met Allah Azza wa Jal. It was narrated that Habab bin Arraj mentioned that when we migrated with the Prophet ﷺ, naltamisu wajhullah, we were searching for the word, for the face of Allah Azza wa Jal. He said, some of us, fawaqa ajruna ala Allah, our reward is with Allah, but some of us died in the mission of Al-Islam. Some of us died and they could not eat the fruit of their labor in this dunya. Among them is Mus'ab bin Umayr. Mus'ab bin Umayr kutila yawm Badr. He was killed on the day of Badr. After he was killed, this Mus'ab bin Umayr, I think we have talked about him in the past. Go and listen to the lecture. Mus'ab bin Umayr is Ajabo. Then he died in a way that they could not even find clothes to cover him after his death. If they cover his head, the leg will be open. If they cover the leg, the head will be open. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam now commanded that they should cover the head, and as for the exposed leg, they should use leaf to cover it. That is how Mus'ab bin Umayr was buried. He said, so from amongst us are those people who reap the benefit of their work in this dunya. Now let's quickly note something here. When we say shahada, that is the shuhada. Those who die in the path of Allah, they are three categories of people who die in the path of Allah. I hope we are together. The first category is shaheed dunya. There are people who die and they are considered as shaheed dunya. In this dunya, they are shaheed. There are another part, shaheedul akhirah. Those ones, they are not shaheed here, but they are shaheed. They are considered shaheed in the akhirah. The third one is shaheed dunya wal akhirah. The third one is considered as shaheed here, and is also considered as shaheed over there. The first one, who is only shaheed in the dunya, is the one who fought in the battle in jihad in order to what? In order to show courage. He fight in the battlefield so that people will hear that, hey, if you hear what Mala Isa did in the battlefield. Or he actually performed jihad without iman. Just like that person who died in the battlefield in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ said, this person is in hellfire. Despite the fact that he died in the battlefield. Despite he died in the battlefield, do you know what happened? When the mushrikun hit him, he now see that he was about to die. He now uses his own sword and kill himself. And you know, whoever kill himself will be in hellfire. Is that not so? You kill yourself, you enter hellfire. So, or you go and fight for the sake of Ghanima, and you now die. As you are looking for Ghanima, you now die. You will consider you a shaheed here, but in Allah, Allah will not consider you a shaheed because He knows that you are only there for the sake of choppy. So here, the ahkam of shaheed will be done to you. Bimana, you know, somebody who died in the battlefield, they will not wash your dead body. Yes. They won't wash your dead body. And they will not also put on any white cloth on you. Wala yukafun. Wala yusalli alayh. They will not even pray over you. Rather, you will be what? You will be wrapped with the cloth that you died on. And they will not wash your what? They will not wash your blood. That is the way you will be what? You will be buried. And that is the way you will meet Allah Azza wa Jal. But you will be buried in the ground. If they can get any part of your body, they will get it and bury it in the ground. Any part of your body that can be able to, maybe as a result of explosion, is only your head that was able to recover. So it's only that head that they will bury. Now these are the shaheed dunya. Although he performed jihad and he was killed, but he doesn't have truthfulness in his iman. So they will do what they need to do for him here, but in Allah he will be in hellfire. Then the second one is shaheedul ahirah. This one is not considered as shaheed in this dunya, but over ahirah he will be considered as shaheed. He will also have the benefit of shaheed in the ahirah. It is reported by Imam al-Tabarani that Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet said, "Mata uduna shaheed fikum." Who do you people used to count as shaheed? They now said, "Ya Rasulallah, man qatala fi sabilillah." Whoever is killed, man qutila fi sabilillah. Whoever is killed in the path of Allah is a shaheed with us. Then the Prophet said, "Inna shuhada ummati izan laqalil." If that is the case, then the shuhada amongst my ummah will be very little. Then the Prophet begin to mention the shuhada. We should listen. The Prophet said, "Man qutila fi sabilillah fa huwa shaheed." Whoever is killed in the path of Allah is considered as shaheed. Wal mutaraddi shaheed. Whoever fall from a very high building and he now fell down and died mistakenly, you are a shaheed. Wa nufasa'u shaheed. You are giving birth to baby. As a result of that, you now died. You are a shaheeda. You are a martyr. That is for the women. Wal gharik shaheed. The one who drowned. I mean, he's inside the water and water now took him away. And he now died as a result of that. As a result of that, he will be considered as shaheed fil ahirah. Wasillu shaheed. Wal hariku shaheed. Anyone who died as a result of sickness, maybe tuberculosis, cholera, you understand? Then you have died as a result of, as you will be counted as shaheed. Wal hariku shaheed. Somebody who died as a result of fire accident. Fire now burn you, and you now died, you will be considered as shaheed. Al mabtun shaheed. The one who died as a result of stomach pain. Maybe they poisoned him. He was poisoned and he shouted stomach until he died. To Allah Azza wa Jalla, he will be considered as shaheed. Wal maytu bi ta'un shaheed. Anyone who died as a result of coronavirus, he is considered as what? Shaheed. That is epidemic. Disease that is viral. Then that person will be considered as shaheed. Wa an Sa'd bin Zayd sami'tu Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam yaqul man qutila duna malihi fa huwa shaheed. Whoever is killed as a result of protecting his wealth, armed robber enter your house. He said, give me your money. He said, I will not give you my money. Then you people begin to fight. He now kill you. Then you are a shaheed. If you kill him, he will be in hellfire. Whoever is killed as a result of protecting his body, as a result of protecting his blood, then by what shaheed? He is a shaheed. وَمَنْ قُتِلَ دُونَ دِينِهِ, whoever is killed regarding his religion, فَهُوَ شَهِيد. He is a shaheed. وَمَنْ قُتِلَ دُونَ أَهْلِهِ, you are protecting your family. As a result of that, you now die. You will be considered a shaheed. Rawahu Abu Dawud wa ghairihi. Then as for the shaheed in this dunya and the akhirah, those are the people who fight in the path of Allah, لِتَكُونُ كَلِمَةُ اللَّهِ هِيَ الْأُولِيَةُ, in order to raise the kalima of Allah supreme. فَهُوَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, those are the people who fight in the path of Allah. تَجْرِي عَلَيْهِ أَحْكَامُ الشَّهَادَةِ فِي الدُّنْيَا, all of the ahkam of those people who die in the path of Allah will be observed on him. Then in the akhirah, Allah Azza wa Jalla will grant him Jannah. He will be in the green beds of Jannah. And he will not be asked questions in the grave. We are still going to talk about the issue of Shaheed perhaps either tomorrow or next tomorrow, inshallah. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla even mentioned that the people who are killed in the path of Allah do not think that they die. No, they are with Allah Azza wa Jalla. And Allah Azza wa Jalla is providing for them. Because of time, we cannot finish what we set out to achieve here today. We are going to stop here. Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned لِيَجْزِيَ اللَّهُ الصَّادِقِينَ بِصِدْقِهِمْ وَيُعَذِّبَ الْمُنَافِقِينَ إِنْ شَاءَ أَوْ يَتُوبَ عَلَيْهِمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا. Maybe tomorrow, inshallah, when we come, we'll quickly do that one so that we want to discuss about shaheed. Want to talk about jihad, want to talk about shaheed, so that we can, when you know something, then you will be having, what's it called? Hope, wish, that Allah Azza wa Jalla grant you. Whoever has wish that Allah Azza wa Jalla should grant him shaheed, even though he died on his bed, he will be considered as shaheed. But if you are one who do not have any wish to participate in any jihad, and say, I beg jihad, I don't like jihad, this and that. If you die as what? Mitatul jahiliyyah, the death of what? Jahiliyyah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.